Back here on 760 WJR, it's not often, given that we are in the field of radio, that we talk about photography. However, renowned photographer Paul Mobley is getting an honorary doctorate at the College for Creative Studies. He's an alumnus there, and that's coming up next month. And we thought we'd have a chance to chat with him and look into the world of a renowned photographer who has done everything from books about American farmers and firefighters to celebrity work to work for Apple, Microsoft, and Ford. And he's on the line with us right now. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Mitch. How are you?
Nice to talk to you, and congratulations on your award. Well deserved. Your doctorate.
Thank you so much. Means a lot.
Great way of getting a degree without having to actually go to class.
And he's not in debt.
Yeah. When did you graduate from CCS?
In 83.
83. So you're
83.
going back. And did you grow up here wanting to be a photographer?
I grew up in Detroit, and as soon as I was in CCS, I really wasn't sure if I was going to continue on, but I did, go to the college. It was a great experience, and probably halfway through, I realized if I wanted to do the kind of work that I'm doing today, I had to leave Detroit and move to New York. So yes, it was since a high school dream I wanted to be a photographer.
You have done amazing work, and I think some of our listeners may be familiar with some of your books. American Farmer was your first major project, but there was also Everyday Heroes, which was portraits of Americans dedicated to helping others. The very well known If I Live to Be 100 series, which was portraits of people who did reach 100 from 50 different states, and that became an exhibition that traveled around. I'm curious, you started, as you say, in the 80s. Back in those days, you were developing film, you were using negatives and fixer and going in the dark room and all the rest of that stuff. And now, of course, so much of photography is digital, and you have bridged that divide. So how has that changed the world of photography, and do you think it's for the better or for the worse?
Great question. I obviously spent countless hours, Mitch, in the darkroom. I still have memories of the days after days after days that I did it. And, I still shoot film today. It's not my preferred choice, and it's mostly because of time. Everybody wants things yesterday.
Right.
But it's still why I'm grateful for that time at the college and doing the film and developing was that I really learned my craft. And I think that people that were back and doing that and learning how to develop the film and seeing what the difference in blacks and whites and contrast. So for me, I look at it as a great learning experience and layering to what I'm doing today.
Give me an example of something you don't learn by having an iPhone camera do all the work for you.
Oh my gosh, everything. Lighting, composition. I think it's technique. We had a great teacher at CCS that we loved, and he spoke so much about, learning your craft and, learning to pay attention. I think with the iPhones and a lot of digital cameras today, people are just shooting and they're not really looking. And a really great photograph, and most of the photographers I love take the time to look and really see what's in front of them rather than just pushing the button.
Yeah.
Some of the best photographers have always said the same thing to me. The camera is really just a tool for me to capture what's in my heart or what I'm seeing, in front of me, that connection with my subject.
So, of course, the way that you have photographed subjects has been your kind of calling card. And, when you're capturing 100-year-old people or farmers or whatever, a lot of it is in the lighting, is in the setting, the framing, the circumstance that you put them in. But so much of it, I find, is in the facial expression, in that moment that you just sort of catch them with the hint of a smile or the hint of a frown or a glare. So first I want to ask you about how you do that with regular folk, And then I want to ask you how that's different when you're photographing famous people. So when you're photographing people who are 100 years old, what's the key to getting a great photograph of someone who's 100?
The connection you make with them. I think, like with anybody, real people are a little bit more of a challenge because they usually haven't had their picture taken.
Right.
But I will usually try to spend the first parts of the photo shoot really getting to know who's in front of me. And I usually don't pull the camera out sometimes for 5 or 10 minutes just to see, because if I notice the person's uncomfortable and isn't really sure what to do, I feel like the best pictures come when there's an ease, when I've kind of captured the soul of the subject in front of me. So
you have to be a bit of a psychiatrist as well, right? You have to be or a therapist, I should say, sort of relaxing them, getting them to talk about themselves a little bit, lighten up, see what they find funny.
Yeah, 100%. Director's another good term. I just try to have a good conversation and see if I can make a connection with them, whether it's an interest that they have, or in the case of the centenarians, what they did in their life. They always want to talk about the keys to long life. So whatever will drive a subject, whether they're famous or not, to getting to that comfort level, Mitch, is the first step. Then I'll take the camera out, and it always goes better.
Paul, I'm curious as to your opinion of color as opposed to black and white. I'm sure you've shot in both. Some of our most dramatic photos over the years are, of course, black and white. Do you prefer one over the other?
I don't. I usually look at, I take the photographs, and then, when I'm in the editing process, it usually just comes to me. After all these years of doing it, I can usually tell. In many cases, I'll use both. I'll try to, find an image that I think looks great in black and white, and then maybe pair it with a color shot as well.
Of all the famous people, rattle off some names, impress us with some of the celebrities that you have taken, and then who gave you, I don't want to ask you who gave you the hardest time, although I would be interested in that. But let's just put it under the category of who gave you the most interesting time.
Gosh, Mitch, there's been so many. I always try to find a jewel with each shoot. Sometimes the whole thing is a laugh factory where I'm photographing somebody like Sebastian Maniscalco, and as soon as I walk in, because he's Italian and I'm Italian, it starts right up, and he'll start cracking the jokes, and it's going to go good. Where somebody like Mike Tyson, he was a little more reserved.
What's the matter? You can't just make Mike Tyson laugh easily?
Would you just take the picture?
Oh, yeah. Some of the shoots that I've done, Mitch, where I'll be 3/4 of the way through or 80%, and I know I haven't got the picture, and I'm like, I'm in trouble. And there's one little thing that happens at the end, or one little moment, and some people talk about it was the last shot that I ended up using. That has really happened to me quite a bit, where it has been the last shot.
And how would you define the shot? As we're talking to Paul Mobley, the world-renowned photographer here, when you say I don't have the shot, what's the shot? What is it that you're looking for?
Well, if there's anything that I have and I'm grateful that I've learned after all these years of doing it, is I can look at my work and know what is my image, what speaks to me, the one that I want to show. So, I always tell a lot of younger photographers to try to develop a style or an identity, but I always know when they get to the point where they're not vacillating over 20 or 30 pictures and they can zoom right in and say, that's the one, that's kind of, for me, what it's become very easy for me now that I can do a shoot with 50 pictures or 200 pictures that I've shot and can go through it very quickly, and I say, that's my picture right there.
And so you're looking at them, and that is the advantage of digital, right? That you can you can look at them now and see them a second after you took them, as opposed to saying, well, I think it's on the film somewhere, but I'll be in the dark room before I know if I have a good one or not. So in that area, I would imagine digital has helped you to find the shot.
Definitely. I still think there's a great gift in being able to shoot the film, take it to the lab, develop it yourself, and there's that window, Mitch, before you get to see it's not instant gratification. And
right.
So that's today why I still will take a film camera with me, because I'll do my digital work and then pull out the film camera, and there's a part of me is still like, I wonder what I got on my film, and that was a great joy. Also in patience when that's all we could use.
Yeah, I think everybody who ever took pictures with a camera the old-fashioned way can relate to that. The difference between us and you is that we didn't wait for them to come back from Photomat and then find out we got somebody else's vacation photos. I don't think that's happened to you, but well, listen, congratulations to you on this honor, an honorary doctorate at the College for Creative Studies. That's Wednesday, March 26th. That Paul will be welcomed back home here, and it's nice to see local boy made good. And great to have this conversation with you. It's not easy to talk about photography on the radio, but I think you did a good job.
Yes.
Yeah, Mitch, and I thank you for that. I really hope it's open to the public, and I hope we have a great turnout. Would love to see you there, and we're going to show a lot of photographs and talk about, right from the beginning, the president, Don Tusky, who's just an amazing guy, is really going to put together, I think, a nice list of questions, and we're going to do a timeline and show a lot of good images. And, Fuji, the film, Fujifilm is going to be there demoing and showing a lot of great new digital cameras. So it'll be fun for everybody.
Right. It's Wednesday, March 26th at the Wendell Anderson Jr. Auditorium in the Walter B. Ford Building on Kirby down there in Detroit. The event is free. It's open to the public, but go on their website there, CCS, and register so they know you're coming. Paul, congratulations, and thank you for coming on with us.
Mitch, thanks very much. Always great talking to you.
An evening with photographer Paul Mobley in conversation with President Don Tusky there, March 26th. It's 760 WJR.